For 3-4 months, they went around. And finally, one day, they came back with the beautiful containers. They said, oh, we found it. Look, we have made it with this new material, which is biodegradable. I said, congratulations, you have done this, you see. If you wanted it, you could solve it. You have done that. Well, where did you find it? So we found it in China. And the material is cornstarch. I said, wonderful. We have solved a big problem. I said, can I eat it? He said, why do you want to eat this stuff? This is not something you can eat. I said, why should poor people pay for this, something which they have to throw away? Why can't you make something which is edible and put nutrition into the container itself? He said, we have no such material. I said, today you don't, but tomorrow you will. It's all a question of addressing that issue. If you don't address it, it will never get done. You have to raise the question and find the solution. If you just accept the way it is, world will be remaining in 2010 permanently frozen. It will not change. So you have to keep on questioning. I said, but we doubt whether we can do that. I said, you have to work very hard to come up with that. He said, maybe it will take a year or more. I said, why didn't you find it in 6 months? So they went back to Paris with their big research facility that Danone has and asked those scientists to do that as a priority thing. When I was visiting Paris a couple of months later, the scientists came to see me. At first, I thought they would be upset because I asked them. They were so happy. Said, nobody asked this question before. Now we are excited to find that material. And everybody is busy trying to come up with an idea first, what kind of it is, and how to make it edible and put the nutrition into the container itself so that nothing is wasted. So this is how it is done.
Dr. Yunus?
Oh, sorry.
Yes, okay. There are a lot of compelling stories in parts of the underdeveloped world about how your model with the Grameen Bank has been successful. And then there are also many communities here in the United States that have been devastated economically over long periods of time. And those problems have been compounded recently with the subprime crisis. Sure. So for communities, whether it's Selma, Alabama or Detroit, Michigan, what is your assessment of the difference in the environment for institutions and companies like this to take place, and why is that environment different if it is?
Environment is because the practices are grown in a certain way that you said, this is not my issue. Why should I get involved with that? My issue is how to get money, how to get a house, how to get a car, how to get a vacation. This is my issue. If somebody is suffering, this is their fault. Look, I was an immigrant, I did this, and I changed my life, I used to do this, and I'm a big guy. So he should have been done this same thing. So I cannot justify everything. I don't have to do anything for him. This is a basic kind of attitude. But if it is, with the idea of social business comes, if I'm in the school, I've learned in my textbook there are two kinds of businesses, one called profit-making business, another called social business. It does this, this one does this. I'll be prepared. Should I do social business? Should I do money-making business? I like this social business idea. Maybe I should do that. Then how do I feed myself? Maybe for a while I do the profit-making, and then after that I'll do the social business. At least there's an option. I can decide what way I would like to do. Or I would do both, so that I can make money for myself. I'm successful as a businessman, making money. At the same time, I'm using this money to change the problem, exactly the problem you said. Then I'll sit down how to design a problem, design a business to address this problem. Those who lost their jobs, who are permanently suffering from this lack of opportunities for them, how to bring those as a business, as a social business. So, and the young people will be forming their groups to address one kind of business, social business, and addressing another kind of social business, and put them on the website, competing with them. Look, our idea is better than your idea. And they will come up. So those ideas will be addressed. Today, there's no such exercise because we have no room for that kind of business in our world. So that's the problem. The structure has to create a space, create doors so that I can go through that door. Today, that door doesn't exist. So all I'm trying to do, tell people that, look, this door can exist. And if you wish, you can take that door. If you don't want to, nobody will force you to do that. But if you want to, of course, that will be done. So that's the young people will be. And some people who are, another category which comes very quickly to my mind, people who are about to retire. They say, what do I do after I retire? That's a worrisome thing. This is what I'm going to do. I'll create social business. I have all this expertise. I know what it is, and I can try it out. And social business doesn't have to be a mega business. It could be just a tiny little business because I'm developing a prototype. All I have to do, take, say, 10 unemployed people out of unemployment, and I've hit the jackpot because I've done that. Everybody will come to learn from me. How did I do it? And everybody will say, hey, I can do the 10, creating of 10 jobs is no big deal. I'll do that. If all of us is doing the 10 jobs, there'll be no people unemployed. We'll be competing to find unemployed person because we have an idea to implement. There is no unemployed people. What do you do? So those are the kind of situations that we can do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Yunus, for coming over here.
Thank you.
And giving us this enlightening talk. I have two specific questions. You have very successfully established the village bank, the Grameen Bank. In our country, the inner city is bogged down with violence, 18-year-old getting shot, 50-year-old principal getting shot, and 4 kids getting shot in the same day. So the violence is the problem in the inner city, black and white both involved. And I think the solution is that because they don't have anything to show for, they're getting involved into violence, and they should be engaged into businesses, young kids, and then they will stay away from violence. Would you be willing to start an inner city bank here in Washington, D.C.? I mean, just recently, 50-year-old white principal, he was shot dead in his own house, and 4 kids from 14 to 22 shot dead in one drive-by shooting. Yeah. So if you have an inner city bank here, we could take care of this violence problem. The second problem that faces us here is the spread of HIV infection. According to the CDC, 50,000 Americans have gotten, that was a prediction for 2009, 50,000 Americans getting new HIV disease. These are the facts, okay? And there is no cure for the disease, but it can be prevented from spreading from one to another. If it is prevented, HIV can wither out by itself. Sure. So would you be interested to starting an inner city clinic, HIV clinic? I'm a physician myself. I would dedicate my life to the prevention of the spread of the disease and to take a control over that. And the third point, while I was standing here...
Can we do the first two?
That's only a suggestion for you.
Yeah, my answer is easy. First of all, you elaborated this. My first response would be, let's work together to find a social business solution. Yes. So one way, now that they have a structure, we can work on it. We can create inner city banking as a social business. And actually, Grameen is working in New York City, in Queens, and also in Manhattan, in Brooklyn. And this week, we'll open a branch in Manhattan. And one branch will be started in D.C. This year. So this is in that direction. But this will not solve...
Thank you.
Yeah. But that will not solve everything. This is important to bring financial services to the people at that level. But at the same time, you can create many other kind of social businesses to address these issues. We have instances, when you read the book, probably some of them will be narrated there, in a social business where you're trying to address the drug addicts, rehabilitate them. They are totally addicted and impossible to get them out. But there's an initiative now going on in helping them become a good citizen and stay away from it and give them a complete rehabilitation as a social business. So if you can come up with an idea, of first identify the problem, then all we have to do is sit together how to design it in a way it can be solved in a business way. There are many attempts in NGO world, in a government world, to do it in a charity way, in a handout way, in a kind of a philanthropist way. This is very important. One good way to look at those solutions, how they do it in a philanthropy way, because they have long experience. They have done wonderful things there. Take this and see how to bring it at a business level. All you are doing few steps up in the business direction. Then you got it. You don't have to start from zero. Already instances are there. But the question of can you help get it to the business level so that it survives by itself. You don't have to go on fundraising every year and remain uncertain whether we can run our program next year or not. So that's it. So all these problems can be addressed, and we do in Bangladesh. We are trying to address some of them, not that all of them we can do. Like we have started a nursing college, because the daughters of Grameen families, after education, high school education, they just get there and get married, have children, nothing else. They don't go to work, their families don't allow them to go to the cities or something. So we said, why don't we set up nursing colleges and bring these young girls in the nursing college, give them a world-class nursing education, and give education loan to these young girls so that their parents don't have to pay a penny out of this. And then guarantee them jobs, because we have plenty of nursing jobs in Bangladesh. And internationally, there is a big demand for nurses. They can work inside the country, outside the country. So the first one is working. We said only few nurses will come out every year. So we want to see if you can produce 1,000 nurses per year. So we want to create a series of nursing colleges, young girls without jobs, without any opportunity to do anything. And there's plenty of jobs waiting. They can't find people to do that. So we can kind of bring the two problems together and have a solution for both of them.
Great.
So this is one way to address. I'm giving one example. There are many other things which can be done, but not been done yet. So that's where we are.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This is my third point, is that a suggestion to the Dannon who's looking for the food that you can eat, the cups as well as the yogurt. How about ice cream cones?
Yeah, that's how my discussion came. I said, look, ice cream cone. I remember ice cream cone, so I like the ice cream. I like the ice cream cone. I love it. Why can't you come up with something like that? He said, well, the ice cream cone will not help here, because it will absorb things, it will deteriorate, and so on. So we need something which will be just right for yogurt. So they're working on it. Ice cream cone has been in discussion for a long time.
Thank you, Dr. Yunus.
Thank you.
We have time for 2 more questions, one from each microphone.
Yeah. Okay,
Dr.
yeah.
Yunus. Thank you for coming today. It was really
Thank you.
inspiring. My name is Cherry Quanyan. I'm with the Smith School of Business, and I'm also a fellow Fulbrighter, so it's always great
Good.
to meet someone such as yourself. I have just in business school, we always talk about what are some quick business takeaways, and so as a social entrepreneur, CEO in training, if I could ask you, what are some of your takeaways as a social entrepreneur when you were starting? And specifically also, I love the concept of how when you're describing, kind of doing 5 projects in one, that's almost the way social entrepreneurship works, and I'm on board with that. What is a key takeaway in terms of when you're doing hybrid business structures where you have collaborations between, nonprofit entities at the grassroots level, government entities, to establish that trust and the trust with the money? And for example, in my case, I work with, different women's groups creating handicrafts in Thailand, and now I'm approached by the embassy to handle procurement of money and things of that nature. And like you encountered, sometimes people are skeptical of where the money's coming, whether it's from corporate or government. It's not even a matter of can you get the money. The money exists. It's like you said, the money exists, but how do you develop that? What is your key takeaway for establishing the trust to continue that?
Okay. Yeah. One thing is we are not hybrid. We are not talking about hybrid. It's a very pure thing. Hybrid where you make money and do some good. When you mix that, that's something else. We are saying that this is completely, it's almost like this room is a non-smoking room. So you're saying hybrid means there'll be some smoking. Yeah. I said this is a non-smoking zone. Social business is a kind of that zone where you don't think about profit at all. That's why I said selfless. Any tinge of any selfish interest, it will ruin it.